Hey everybody, how's it going? Oh, I haven't streamed in a little bit. I was super busy. If you guys listen to the outros on the Pokemon challenges, or if you follow me on Twitter, then you probably already know. I was super busy for months. I did all the streaming for like 2 months, and then after that, my girlfriend moved in, and I also had to spend like a good couple months on recording a whole bunch of Haven and Hearth stuff because the new world was dropping. And that was difficult because there wasn't a definitive release day yet, but the community kind of had a strong hunch it was going to be like November, December, because that's around when it usually is. And then partway into recording all of that stuff, the release date was like announced, so I had to make sure that I like really got everything done before then. So that was tons of work. That was well over 200 hours. That was just for the recording too. That's not even counting the scripting and the editing and all the collaborative research for it and everything. And I still have to do Haven stuff, obviously. But I got the most important videos done and up on the channel, so that was important. And then I started having a lot of problems with my neck and my shoulder. Mostly it stems from the neck. So I haven't been able to sit for super long periods of time. Some days I can't sit much at all. But it's been getting better. I'm just being really strict with my physiotherapy, and that's been helping a lot. Had like a week where I was pretty out of commission due to overstretching my neck, and I already have like neck problems. Well, I probably need to get another MRI on my neck, probably, because my last MRI was 2022, and that figured out why I have problems like with the tingling in my left hand and stuff. That's from lower down in the neck, but now I also have like a tightness in the right side of the face and stuff, and that seems to be like a kind of a top few vertebrae thing on the right side, so probably gonna need another MRI to figure that out. Go do DDO yoga. I'm guessing you mean DDP yoga sessions. I already do yoga, and I do physiotherapy. Did your base in Haven get destroyed after the series went up? Actually, weirdly enough, not only did it not get destroyed, people came by with gift baskets. Every once in a while, I log on to that character to just do like a little bit of farming and see what's up, and new people will have made a pilgrimage to it and left me a nice little note in a gift basket just saying like, thank you for making thank you for making these videos, signed the Haven community, stuff like that. So that's pretty cool, because that's not normally how people behave in Haven. I thought I would immediately just get camped and killed, because there's a lot of people in Haven who just like hunting YouTubers. Sorry, there was like a message I want to respond to earlier. I'm just trying to find it now. Song goes hard, bro. What is the track? It's good. Oh, this is just a loop of the Carrington Institute music from Perfect Dark. I don't know if you grew up with the N64, but Perfect Dark's soundtrack is really good. It's done by Grant Kirkhope. He's the same guy who did the music for stuff like 007 GoldenEye, Banjo-Kazooie, Banjo-Tooie. I think he did like a Viva Pinata game. But a lot of those like really memorable N64 soundtracks that Rare did. The company Rare made a lot of those good games. A lot of those soundtracks were Grant Kirkhope. He did really good soundtracks. I'm sure he still does. I don't think he works in doing music for games as much as he used to, but you know. So yeah, you can, if you look up the soundtrack of Perfect Dark or 007 GoldenEye, it's just great music. Top to bottom, no bad tracks. Did you do anything for Christmas? Yeah, I just went to my mom's place. We hung out. We had, just regular dinner. We played, she's got a Switch, so we booted up the Switch and went on the N64 emulator thing on there. And we played a bunch of Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 2's mini games. Me and my sister played a few rounds of Mario Tennis. That was all fun. Infinite Lives M. Dickey just released. That's his like superhero game, right? M. Dickey's great. He makes great games. So about games, how about Underrail got a huge anniversary update a few days ago? I haven't played Underrail since 2022. I was looking at the update. I didn't boot the game. I was just reading the patch notes. Looks like a big update. I saw a lot of people are negatively reviewing it because they're really upset that he nerfed a bunch of builds. But, like, I don't know nearly enough about the game to know if, like, I like that or not. I heard that the dev is really anti-mods, like game modifications. But I don't know if that's true, because it seemed like the people who were saying that were, like, really disgruntled in general, and I mean, look, if you've ever clicked on the patch notes of any video game on Steam, and you read the comments, you very quickly realize that there's a lot of people that are just incredibly hyperbolic and ridiculous when there's anything on Steam. What do you think of Gunther's heel persona this year? I don't know. I don't watch WWE. I have liked everything I have seen from him, and I really liked him before WWE, and I liked him when I used to watch NXT UK. But, like, you know, I just see, like, clips on Twitter and Instagram or whatever of modern Gunther, and I'll see, like, a match or two every year, because, you know, I'll watch, like, the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, and I was gonna say he's always good there, but I wasn't, I don't know, me and the group I was with, we weren't really feeling the Jey Uso versus Gunther match. It's a shame, because I like both of them, and I've seen like a million Jey Uso matches from back in the day. Mostly as the Usos, of course, but I like Jey Uso. I've seen the Bannerlord forums, so fucking true. Oh, are the Steam forums for Bannerlord crazy? You should watch Raw, it's very good. Now, I know for a fact that's a lie. I watched Raw every week for almost 10 years, and it was the worst wrestling show of the week almost every single week. Like, there was a while where there just wasn't much on, and I had more free time to watch this shit. No, I watch an unbelievable amount of pro wrestling that is not WWE. And it makes it very hard to watch WWE, both because obviously it takes a lot of time, but also it's very difficult because once you watch a bunch of other companies frequently, the problems you have with WWE programming really come into view. Do you think they should bring back Total Divas? I didn't watch Total Divas. Obviously, I've seen, like, some clips here and there, but I never sat down and watched that. I mean, if you're just talking about, like, should they bring it back in terms of would it be good for the company? Yeah, probably. My understanding is Total Divas did really well for getting a lot of people's spouses into wrestling. You know, like, maybe the dad grew up with WWE and he watches WWE, but the mom was never interested, or, you know, the wife of the dad, you know what I'm talking about. But those shows really got the wives into it. So, yeah, like, in terms of, like, a business standpoint, sure, but in terms of, like, would I watch it? It's not really my kind of show. How have I been? Okay-ish. My neck's sore, but, like, we're not gaming right now. I can stand up if I need to, and that helps a little bit. We got a little bit of head tension. What's poppin' Mah-Dry-Bread? I don't know. Go ask him. Hey, Dara, how's it going? That is world-famous Tara Louise from the outro of the Pokemon challenges. I like the update overall. The negative thing I'd say would be hard and dominating difficulties. Even harder, like all enemies have 50% extra health on hard and 100% in dominating. Oh, that must be in reference to Underrail. Okay. Underrail and Undertale, very different video games. But every time I go to say Underrail, I need to, like, pause for a second and make sure I don't say the wrong name. They couldn't be more different to video games, but the name is so similar. Year 10 for waiting on more Civ. Like, waiting for me to upload more Civ? No, I've definitely uploaded Civilization videos in the last 10 years. I don't believe it's been that long. I don't believe you. I can search on my channel, I guess. Is that same as saying busting a move? Yes. Hold on, I'm just gonna go on my channel, and I'm gonna go in my video section and search Civilization. The most recent Civilization video I uploaded was February 2019. Oh, I must have put a typo in the title, because I wrote February 2018, but it was uploaded February 2019. Yeah, that must be a typo. Do I fix that now? It says part 1, but I never uploaded any other parts, so I guess I didn't finish that. I did a lot of casual streams of Civ 6 way back when. That was like 7 years ago. I still play Civ, like, quite frequently, though. I just haven't uploaded it in a while. Like, me and my girlfriend play Civ 7 pretty regularly. Whenever my mom comes over, we'll get together, play Civ 6. I still play Civ 4 from time to time. I really like Civ 4. Civ 7 had a really bad launch. Kind of like Civ 5 did, but Civ 5's... I'd say Civ 5's launch wasn't as bad, just because people's standards were different back when that came out. You thought you heard 6-7 instead of Civ 7? Okay, I can understand. Yeah, it does sound like that, doesn't it? It's like the Outer Worlds and the Outer Wilds. Oh yeah, that's pretty similar. Yeah, I don't know the whole 6-7 thing. I just understand it's a meme. I don't know where it came from. I just know that people say Civ 6... Man, I can't say it right now. People say 6-7 and then they do this thing with their hands. Man, I don't know. Bring back Wrestling Empire? I would quite like to. We need to... Newbie Nate needs to ride again! Okay. I don't think I've ever streamed Wrestling Empire and not come away with it with a sore throat from non-stop laughing. I love that game. Like, it's goofy in the best ways, it's unfair in the best ways. Like, it's unfair in ways that just make you laugh. And you can get really good at that game. Like, some people think it's just luck. It's not just luck. You can get really good at Wrestling Empire. But I don't know. It's just, it's a kind of chaotic fun that you don't get that often, you know? And wrestling games can be very good chaotic fun, but a lot of modern ones aren't. And so that's kind of part of why I like that Wrestling Empire carries on that legacy of earlier, more chaotic wrestling games. 6-7 came from a basketball game. Huh. Weird. It's very unpredictable, which 2K25 lacks. Yeah, modern WWE video games, my understanding is the head designer of it is a huge fan of Madden games, and so they want it to feel like an episodic sports title rather than what wrestling games used to feel like. So they're very simulatory, not very arcadey, not very gamey, just very, very simulatory. And I don't think that's necessarily the end of the world. I like that you have that variety, right? I like that you have your very simulatory games, like the WWE ones, like the modern WWE ones, and then you also have your other kinds of games, you know? Like, people who never played Fight Forever, the AEW game, they just hear that it was bad or that it was really bare bones or whatever. No, the actual gameplay is fucking fantastic. It made a lot of really fun innovations. It feels snappy and fun to play, both against AI and against your friends, especially against your friends, though. It's that, like, the side game modes don't really matter. The story mode is very formulaic. It's like a really good skeleton to build a game off of. You know, it's kind of like that first TNA game that they made on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 and everything, where the gameplay was all really fun. And they didn't get to put all the things in it that they wanted to put in it. It was clearly like their first game. But you never got a sequel to it because that was Midway's like last game before they went out of business. So they never got to make a sequel, you know? The company that made it was already having financial problems before they made the game. Midway used to own all those old arcade classics, and they were having a hard time financially at the time. They made the TNA game, but obviously a wrestling game for a, at the time, niche wrestling company, that's not gonna pull you out of crazy debt, you know? Even if the game was amazing, it probably wouldn't have saved Midway. The engine got reused later by, I think, Ukes. They used the engine for WWE Superstars? Is that what it was called? What was the one where it was, like, very cartoony, and all the wrestlers were, like, huge and jacked, and they could, like, backflip from the center of the ring to the top rope, and stuff like that, you know? That'd be a dumb question, but did you get hit with snow recently? Actually, there wasn't really much snow for Christmas. There was a lot of snow a few weeks ago, and then a lot of it melted, and now it's been snowing again. We had a little bit of hail the other day, but it was very small hail, nothing dangerous. Such a great yapaholic, thank you. Well, this is what I do best. See, a lot of people, they only find me through, like, Pokemon challenges, right? And so they only hear my scripted videos. So they don't know, like, that I've done over... It's gotta be well over 5,000 Let's Play videos. And many, many streams. I've been streaming since before Twitch TV was around. You know, I've been doing this for, like, 15 years, full time. So a lot of people don't realize just how much practice I have with live commentary, and how much more comfortable I am with live commentary. I'm good at never shutting up. Been here since Flash Trash. Flash Trash will come back. It's funny, all the time I get messages from people that are like, all kinds of people message me and they're like, oh, it's a shame Flash Trash died because Flash died. It's like, have you guys never tried to play a Flash game since you heard that Flash died? It didn't die. Like, yeah, Flash, the program, stopped being used, but like most Flash game sites since before Flash died just made their own web plugin that lets the old games run. Just because Flash doesn't work anymore doesn't mean you can't run Flash games on other pieces of software. You're like, go to Newgrounds.com right now. Everything still works. Newgrounds just made their own video player and their own game player, and it works fine. So nothing was lost. What are your thoughts on Case O, the Twitch streamer? I think I've only ever seen the name. I don't think I know who that is. Go do politics? I don't really want to do politics on my show. I guess I talked about politics like a little bit, like a decade ago, like 2016 when everybody was talking about it. But then quickly I realized, like, I don't really like talking about that on my show, because very quickly it became a thing of like everybody talked about politics all the time, and it got injected into everything. And I started getting annoyed with that, because I'm like, look, I've always watched political stuff, I've always been interested in political stuff, and I keep up, but like, I'm not into the drama of it, and I don't like it being injected into everything. Everything. And so eventually I just decided, I'm just not even gonna talk about politics on my show, because I don't want to be part of the problem, you know? I'm not judgy when it comes to politics. I don't think I'm the fucking arbiter of truth and that my opinion is always correct and that all of my information is correct and everybody else's information is wrong. I don't judge people for having different political opinions, and everyone has a different life experience than I do, and has different things that informed them. But a lot of people don't look at it that way. A lot of people just think that they always know the right answer to everything, and they treat other people like garbage over it. I don't want to participate in that. If you want to hear me talk about politics, I am occasionally on, like, Dev's show, or Arch's show, and I'll react to whatever political thing that they're talking about. But even then, I am a way more moderate voice than basically anybody else on those shows. Because I just want to ask questions and learn about what's going on and give my 2 cents. Closest thing into politics you've seen on the show is complaining about Canada Post. Now, if there's anything that can unite the right and the left of Canada, it's complaining about Canada Post. I feel like everyone can unify under that, right? Gonna play a game? I don't know, I might just hang out with you guys. Mostly I wanted to do this just to hang out with you guys. I should put my headset back on, I want to listen to the music too. Sorry, I had my headset off for a while. This coffee is so good. The yap is the core appeal. Yes, absolutely. There's a reason a lot of people like to say that the best part of the stream is the pre-stream, because it's just me talking to you guys. Oh, Retro is here, Wave. I love that there's been people who have been in the chat of my streams for so long now that members of the community who are fairly, not necessarily even fairly new, just people know the usernames of other people who are frequent in the chat and the Discord and the Twitter and stuff like that. I feel like Retro's probably the biggest example of that. Retro's never been on the show before. Retro made a few best of videos that made air on the show, and basically didn't take any credit for it. I think I put his name in the descriptions. And yet, loads of people know the name Retro. Simulated matches with all the CAWs I made. It was Street Fighter characters, Saturday Night Slam Master characters, Streets of Rage characters, and real wrestlers. That's awesome. Streets of Rage is so fun. I used to play Streets of Rage 2 all the time. And of course, I mostly played as the wrestler dude. Still kind of wild to you? Yeah. I mean, okay, I can't read your display picture right now, but I know I've, like, read it before. Doesn't your display picture just say something like, I'm nobody, don't worry about it? Can you dance? No, I don't know how. I mean, like, I did the mandatory dancing they made you do in gym class, but that was, like, grade 6. That was, like, 2/3 of my life ago. And you've helped me so much, thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Sorry, I was like, do I thank you or do I say you're welcome? I guess both. Pottery Smash? Oh, hold on, I gotta go into the folder for that. Yeah. I actually have some new audio on my soundboard. Like this one.
I love Bread. I look forward to him. He is great.
I don't even remember what the context of that one was anymore. Oh, I have a new wrestling one too.
Listen.
It's the intro Gregory Helms theme.
You are all spineless keyboard warriors.
That's a really good one. That might be the best quote from the John Cena heel turn. I'm gonna get some use out of that. Opinion on the new Street Fighter movie? I don't know. I don't think I've seen a movie in like a decade. Maybe more. Okay, this is a conversation we have sometimes on stream, and I still don't really know the true answer to it. What is the most recent movie that I have seen by release year? I don't know. Because I used to watch a lot of movies, but a lot of those movies are from like the 80s and the 90s. And like the early 2000s. So like, you know, I used to like watch movies in high school, and then I watched almost no movies after high school. Yeah, I watched Kung Pao like less than a year ago, but Kung Pao released in like what, 2002? Something like 2002. I remember we had a breakthrough recently on me remembering I had seen a movie, and we looked up the release year and it was like 2007 or something. But like, I don't know. Didn't you watch Kung Pao with Truth? No, I watched Kung Pao because of Truth and What a Geek both telling me to for years. And then on an episode of the Factorio Let's Play, me and Truth talked about Kung Pao a bunch. Yeah, I'm not counting, like, Dark Side of the Ring. That's, like, a documentary series, you know? Those are, like, episodic documentary stuff. I'm talking about a movie. So, like, what's the most recent movie I've watched by release year? I don't know. I have no idea. Our Truth convinced you to watch something. No, Truth. My friend Truth. You guys gotta go watch Truth. You don't know how good he is. He's really, really, really good. He's got a small channel. Not many people watch it. But no, Truth is great. even if you think like, oh, like some of these videos, I'm not into that genre. Like he's got like one thing where he reviews like manga. And it's like, oh, I'm not into manga. Yeah, well, I don't read manga. And yet I can watch any of those episodes and I find it really interesting. Or like he had a video forever ago, a few videos, where he would just recap stories of him playing Dwarf Fortress and the crazy way that his like fortress died. And those were really, really good. And I met him way back in the day because someone on my Discord was telling me I might like the game Ilona, and that there's this small YouTuber who did like a tutorial series on it. And I'm like, okay, I'll check it out. And it's like a freeware Japanese game from way back in the day. And I look up his series, and he's really funny and really informative. And I just let him know that, and we got talking, and we became friends. And that's how we met back in the day. You sound like someone who never gets angry. I get angry, but like, I don't know, I just control it pretty well. I don't like to lose my cool. So like, you know, I'll like get animated and rant about stuff in like video games, you know, about something being bullshit in a video game, but I'm not like mad. I'm having fun, I'm smiling. I don't like to act out of anger, if that makes sense. He knows Grimbo and Pumbaa, so he's cool. Yeah. Some say he's the inventor of Grimbo and Pumbaa. You are homies with R-Truth. No, I am homies with Truth. Truth is my homie. R-Truth, never met him. Big fan. I watched him win the NWA World's Heavyweight title. Great wrestler. Never met him. Oh, he gets angry, he just laughs as he yells at someone? I don't think that's true. I don't really yell at people either. Unless I'm like laughing with someone. Then sure, I'll get pretty loud. But like, I don't yell at people. Also, that's not real anger. Like, if it's me, like, saying, like, you know, something happens in a game and I'm like, oh my god, that was bullshit, I can't believe that happened. Like, I'm laughing and having fun. I'm not angry. Name your top 15 WWE themes, male and female. Okay, there's no way I could just off the top of my head be like, oh, here's the definitive top 15. I don't know, man. Like, who on the planet could answer that on the fly? Also, I'm not good at picking favorites of anything. Like, if you want, like, now, if you just asked me, hey, name a bunch of WWE themes that you think kick ass. Now, I could name those forever. But you try and get me to, like, put it into a tier list or an order, that's hard. That's real hard. Maybe I could do a tier list, actually. Like, if you were to give me, you know, like the tier list template page everyone knows? If you were to put that in front of me, and you just want me to start dragging themes from the list into S tier, A tier, B tier, whatever, I could probably do that. Unless it's like modern Def Rebel themes, then they all sound the fucking same. There's like, if you're talking like modern WWE music, there's one good song for every 20 bad songs. But if we're talking like CFO, they made a lot of good songs. If we're talking Jim Johnston should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't know why the fuck he's not in the Hall of Fame. Because Jim Johnston made amazing wrestler themes. Like, they fit the characters so perfectly. Unbelievable. Name the theme songs that stand out for you in WWE from the last 2 decades. Okay, 2 decades. It is 2025 right now for a few more days. So we're gonna say since 2005. Okay. What the fuck happened to Jim Johnston? Nothing! They just released him. And recently Bruce Pritchard was asked about that, and he said that they released him because eventually all the songs sounded the same. The way he put it is, he said, like, eventually, you know, he had a signature sound, and eventually everyone's theme just sounded like Bam Bam Bigelow. Okay, that's just Bruce Pritchard being full of shit like he usually is. He will say whatever is needed to defend the company. No, it didn't all sound like Bam Bam. No, it didn't all sound the same. Yes, he had some signature sounds, but are you really gonna tell me that Val Venus's theme sounded anything like Gangrel's theme? Are you really trying to tell me, okay, the last song he ever made for the WWE was that Baron Corbin theme he had right before he was King Corbin. And that song was fantastic. It was a full song with verses, with a bridge, with a chorus. It was a full-ass song, and it was good. It was really good. You're telling me that sounds anything like Bam Bam Bigelow's song? Shut up, Bruce. The guy who released him needs to get gored by Rhino? I know, right? Dude, Rhino can still go. It's crazy. Like, I've been watching Rhino for more than 20 years, and he still kicks so much ass. People sometimes look at him now, and they're like, oh, he's fat now. I don't care, man. Like, I still watch him wrestle, and he moves great. He's not, like, old and broken down, you know? And he still looks like Rhino. He can still move. He got good music out of the fucking FFDP singer at that skill. What's FFDP? I don't think I know that acronym. Don't forget to answer the question I asked about the theme songs. Oh, sorry, yeah. So, like, theme songs have standard to me in the last 20 years, so since 2005. Okay. Obviously, I'm just cherry-picking random ones that come to mind. So I'm gonna miss a ton of great ones, I'm sure. So that covers the entire CFO era. What are some good CFO ones I can think of off the top of my head? I feel like everybody liked the Shinsuke Nakamura songs. Those were pretty good. My favorite of the Shinsuke ones was the heel one with the lyrics. I thought that was really good. I mean, everybody liked Glorious, Bobby Roode's theme. I thought it was good, but it also only works with the entrance, right? That only works in conjunction with the entrance, which isn't necessarily a knock on the theme, of course. But some songs stand up on their own, and some songs only stand up with the entrance. I liked Shayna Baszler's first theme a lot. That was a good one. That was a really good one. I'm just thinking of, like, that era of NXT now. What ones really stood out to me? FTR had a good theme. What the fuck were they called? The Revival. Their theme was good. Oh, no one remembers this one, I'm guessing, because this was NXT before it was cool. But Charlotte Flair, before she got the song that was like a play on her dad's theme, she had this really good lyrical theme. I don't know if we count it just because I think it might have been like stock production music. But then again, I mean, we count the Hardy Boys theme, right? And the Hardy Boys theme is just stock production music. You hear it in commercials sometimes. You hear, like, the Hardy Boys theme. Okay, the Hardy Boys theme is a background club music in Watch Dogs 2. How weird is that? Yes, American Alpha. That was a great theme. I haven't thought about them in a while. Oh, that American Alpha theme was great. I do love the one NXT Stables name had a different version for each individual member. Oh, Sanity? You talking about Sanity, probably, because I know they had like a twist on the song for each individual person in the group. That was pretty cool. And I'm a huge Eric Young fan, so of course I loved that team. I also really liked Alexander Wolf, but like I feel like Alexander Wolf was always kind of the guy that they didn't put any attention on in that group. And it's a shame because he's a great wrestler. He was like a top star in Germany. I don't know what he's up to now. He's probably back to being like the heavyweight champion of Germany. It was him and, I guess you guys know him now as Ludwig Kaiser, but that guy was also like a top star in Germany for ages. Back in WXW. I have a little water here. Man, there's so many wrestlers and so many themes, you know? It's one of those things where I almost want to like scroll through a list and it would jog my memory a lot. Now, if we want to extend back, let's extend back a little bit more to like late Jim Johnston days, right? Because you said 2 decades, so if we're going to make our vague cutoff around 2005, that includes stuff like Gregory Helm's theme. Not the first one. The first one's pretty whatever. But that last one, though. Listen, it's time. That one was great. That fit his character really well. That was a fun song, very memorable. CM Punk? Okay, so here's a question, right? do we count the songs where it's licensed music not made by someone in the WWE system? Because This Fire Burns, CM Punk's first theme, fantastic, fit the character perfectly. I know people really like Cult of Personality by Living Colour, and I like that song a lot too, but I'm gonna be honest, I feel like I definitely preferred it to This Fire Burns when I was younger, but now, at the ripe old age of 33, I think I actually like This Fire Burns more for CM Punk. That said, his old indie theme, I never remember the name of it, but that might be the best one he has. That might be his best theme when it comes to, like, big matches, you know what I mean? I never remember the name of that song, though. Big Show's theme is baller? Okay. Specifically, though, Big Show's theme before he was ECW champion. The AFI song? Yeah, that's what I was thinking of with CM Punk. That's a good song. You can count them? Okay. If we're counting licensed songs, and definitely This Fire Burns, CM Punk, that was great. Fit the character so well. Had a lot of energy to it. I'm not even, like, a big fan of the band. It's just, when you get that perfect synergy between the song and the character, how can you not love it? Yes, MVP's I'm Coming. I also really liked, I think it's called, like, Baller's Anthem or something. MVP came out to it for a short time. But it was, like, sung by him. That was a good one. MVP had a lot of good songs, though. So, Big Show's theme before the ECW Championship run. That one was really good. I really, really like that one. The one after his ECW run, which is the one he used, like, the whole rest of his WWE career, that song's good. I just don't think it's quite as good as the version he had before. What else? Shelton Benjamin's Gold Standard theme. That was a good one. I like that a lot. Matt Hardy's theme. How can you not love Matt Hardy's theme? What else? Listen to MVP's theme song with no context. No, go listen to Billy Kidman's last WWE theme with no context. Just read the lyrics sheet. The lyrics to Billy Kidman's theme were nuts. You prefer Cult of Personality. Love the song since before I knew what wrestling was. Though I like This Fire a lot. Yeah, I prefer Cult of Personality as a song. I prefer This Fire for CM Punk. That said, when CM Punk first started coming out to Cult of Personality in WWE, I did really like that, and I did think that was really cool, especially because I already knew he came out to that in Ring of Honor for a little while. Although I don't think it was for long. Joe Hendry's theme? It is good, yes. He's had a lot of good themes. All made by himself, of course, over the years. I do love his thing he used to always do on the indies where he'd make, like, a diss track music video on his opponents. Although I do believe he still does that to some degree in WWE. AJ Styles? I don't really like AJ Styles' WWE theme. It wasn't even made for him. Imagine if Jim Johnston did Nikki Bella's theme. He did, didn't he? The You Can Look But You Can't Touch? That was Jim Johnston? Unless I'm wrong. Yeah, AJ Styles... Okay, well, first of all, AJ Styles' current WWE theme is trash. The only theme he had that was any good in WWE was the, You Don't Want None. But, like, even then, I don't like that song very much. It wasn't even made for him. It was made because they thought James Storm was coming in, but then James Storm said no because they lowballed him, and he went back to TNA. So that song was made for Cowboy James Storm, which is why it doesn't really fit AJ super well. Brie Bella's the most generic theme. Kinda. I mean, it's still less generic than a lot of the modern themes. I hated that song at first, but it grew on you. What, the You Don't Want None thing? AJ's TNA themes are pretty good. I'm a really big fan of his older ones. Like, people think about Get Ready to Fly, and that one is good, but, like, that's the one that goes into the rap a little bit, and I don't feel like it fit his character nearly as well as I Am, the old one. Which, lyrically, that song is terrible. A lot of that era of songs by Dale Oliver, lyrically, terrible. Like, funny, bad, terrible. But the song itself, when you see the guy come out and do his entrance, and you hear that song and you see the impact zone going crazy, it just works. Can you rap? No. I can't sing either, before you ask. Put this back down with my Pokemon. Pokemon Combat. Okay, I can do that rap. The only rap that matters, Pokemon Combat, by Storm. Fun fact, if you look up Pokemon Combat on YouTube and you find the bass boost version, I have a comment on that people liked, where I was saying that Storm, the guy who did Pokemon Combat, the music video, I said he would have been a really great ECW like enforcer in the 90s. He could have like been managing a stable, you know? He should have been managing the Baldies. Tell me that you couldn't picture Storm from Pokemon Combat as the heavy backing up Baldies against New Jack. If I ever go into WWE, Pokemon Combat's gonna be my theme. Oh, they could probably buy the rights to that. Gene Snitsky's, it wasn't my fault. Yeah, I like that song. That one's alright. And then he had his, like, the sinister sounding one when he shaved all of his hair off and smudged butter on his face or whatever. Painted his teeth yellow. Let's do unpopular WWE opinions. Mine is WWE could be better without the legacy of Triple H. Then, I mean, that brings up the question of, okay, who's in charge if not Triple H? And then it's like, now we're getting deep into, like, we're getting into territory of, like, okay, if it wasn't him, then who would it be? And how, we couldn't possibly predict what it would be like, you know? Like, we could say, like, oh, maybe Shane McMahon in charge, maybe Stephanie McMahon in charge. Okay, but we have no idea what that alternate universe would look like, you know? So it's really hard to say. Cody Rhodes' Undashing theme was awful. Yeah, but it fit the character. I still think it's really funny that he's allowed to use Kingdom in WWE when the entirety of the lyrics of Kingdom is "fuck WWE, I left to go be a star." The whole song is just an anthem to fuck WWE. But I understand that it was part of his agreement to come back into the company as he got to use his song. And I'm just assuming that most people never really listened to the lyrics, you know? Dashing Cody is the best version of him. I don't necessarily disagree. It's definitely not like a main event version of Cody, but I really like Dashing Cody Rhodes. Stardust also kicked ass. I understand he hated being Stardust, and I don't blame him one bit, but he was undeniably very good at that character. Imagine if WWE re-signed Mercedes Moné. I don't want to imagine that, because they're gonna do what they did the first time. They'll be like, shiny new toy! And then they'll have fun with her for like 3 months, and then she's just another member of the roster. I don't think she would get the Cody treatment, where she is like top of the world star. And it's not because she isn't good enough. I mean, she was very popular in the WWE. They did a lot more with her than they ever did with Cody in the first run. But like, it's one of those things, you know? They get their shiny new toy, and then WWE just kind of forgets about it. Still like the first Smoke and Mirrors? Yeah, that was like his best theme. Okay, Kingdom is a great song. I don't like how it sounds. I don't hate the song. It fits Cody well, but I just don't like it as a song very much. Whereas Smoke and Mirrors has like a lot of energy to it. I like it. Stone Cold Steve Austin should have been in charge of WWE. I have no idea what Stone Cold would be like as a booker. Who knows? I don't want to just assume he would be awesome at it. I do usually like his ideas when he talks about them, but booker? I have no idea. I have no idea. Dolph Ziggler's first song was amazing. Yeah, it was a good one. Although Dolph Ziggler's themes, none of them compare to his theme as Nick Nemeth. His Wanted Man theme is fantastic. Dolph Ziggler, I've always been a huge fan of, but he is so much better now that he's out of WWE. He's one of those guys where, again, the fans picked him over and over, the fans wanted him to be the top star over and over, and then the company never pulled the trigger with him. You know, they would like kind of make you the champ for a little bit, and then you're just transitional, you know? Whereas like the millisecond he finally got released by WWE after asking for it for like 2 years, every company he goes to, they make him a world champion. Because he's a world champion. Like, oh, it's ridiculous. WWE was the only company who didn't see him that way. And instantly, he comes across so much cooler outside of that company. His theme is so much better. His look is so much better. He has so much more creative freedom in his matches. On top of the world. And deservingly so. Hey, Gar, how's it going? Dude, stoked I finally caught you live. May have to dip in and out. Definitely looking forward to seeing what you play later. I don't even know if I'm going to be playing anything. I have no idea. It's kind of depending on how my neck and shoulder are doing, and they're kind of sore right now. I'm actually standing at the moment just to kind of take some of the pressure off, you know? Oh, sorry, I can't see very well from here. I'm gonna sit back down. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, but it's so hard for me to see that far away even with my glasses. There we go. Remember when Ziggler was a total badass at the end of Survivor Series and then they did nothing with it because they wanted Roman in that spot? Yup. Even then, they made Sting save him. I don't feel like that was necessary at all. Don't even play anything, just lay back and chill. Yeah, it's kind of what I want to do. Just hang out. I haven't gotten to stream in ages because I was so busy with so much work, and I was busy with the Haven and Hearth stuff, and then my neck was a candy-ass piece of trash, and now I just want to hang out. I have to catch up soon. Yes, message me whenever you want to. You are always free to message me. And I will get back within a somewhat reasonable amount of time. I try, but I get flooded with DMs on Discord, so it can be a little difficult sometimes. It can be a bit daunting to get back to everything. Also, I sent out, like, so many, like, Merry Christmas messages and stuff, and then, like, a bunch of the people who messaged back want to catch up, so I gotta, like, really put some time into that. Glad to see you streaming. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't know how many of you know, but I have a streaming channel now on YouTube where I put the VODs up. I don't know if I'm going to bother putting this one up there or just leave it here. It's not really that important. So I might just leave it on the live tab of this channel. I don't know. But I'm going to put, like, stream VODs up there from now on. And, of course, my streams will sometimes be here and sometimes be on Twitch, but the stream will always get, like, recorded and uploaded later. Except for this one, I think I'm just gonna leave this on the live page of the main channel. Austin left because the WWE wanted Coach to go over, so Batista plays out. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, they booked Austin so unbelievably carelessly bad near the end. I don't blame him for some of the times he walked out. Like, it is shocking how little care they had in the booking of Austin by 2002 onward. It is fucking nuts. The biggest star in the entire history of pro wrestling. And they start doing stuff like Steve shows up to the building and they're like, what do you want to do this week? And they're like, I want you to lose to Brock Lesnar clean tonight. Just on Raw. No build-up. We're not going to build up to WrestleMania. We're not going to build up to the Royal Rumble. We're not going to have a storyline. Just lose to this guy. What a waste. Are you kidding me? Young Brock Lesnar versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. And you're not gonna, like, build that up to be the main event of WrestleMania? Like, are you kidding me? That is nuts. You're just gonna give that away on free TV with no thought, no care, no time to build it up. Nothing. That is unbelievable. The chat might be good for people who like to know what's going on, but don't use Twitter. What chat? Do you mean the chat room or us talking right now, or what? I have to take morphine for your pain? That sucks. That's What a Geek's other name. Ooh, I need more water. I'm so bad about when I have a coffee, I don't drink any water with it. And then I get really dehydrated. Pre-stream conversation, okay. By the way, I think they never fixed that glitch on my Twitch streams, where it never promotes my show at all to people who aren't following it. Normally, if you have automated mid-rolls turned on your stream, then it will automatically occasionally promote your stream to people's homepages and stuff, and it helps you grow, right? It's the same thing that, like, Twitch does. It's basically the only way to grow in streaming is if you're shown to people who don't already follow you. But YouTube, and they don't tell you this, if you don't have automated ads turned on, they just don't promote you ever. And on YouTube, it's really easy to actually double check and make sure that that's true, because they give you the full analytics after. Sometimes it takes like 2 days for the analytics to update, but you can check and see that you got 0 impressions from people outside of your subscribers, you know? So yeah, there was one time ever where that glitch didn't happen with me, because I can turn it on and it just doesn't fix for the stream. And then the next stream, it will say it's turned off and ask if I want to turn it on. And it's just an account-wide glitch. There was one time ever where that glitch didn't happen, and I was just playing Victoria 3, and I had the most viewers I ever had in my life not related to a raid. I had over 600 people watching just a random Victoria stream because the glitch didn't happen. And then it just happens every time. Which, very frustrating, by the way, because that severely damages my career. And I would quite like for the streams to grow more so that I could make a better living and better take care of my family. Unfortunately, I have no control over that, because YouTube does not talk to you. You cannot get in touch with a human. So, what am I supposed to do? Please bring back Newbie Nate. He is not gone. I will do more. Can you submit a ticket to YouTube? No. No one fixes anything. No one fixes anything. You cannot get in touch with a human. It used to be, as a partner, I could get in touch with a human who couldn't do anything. I could at least talk to a human, and they would say, I can send it off to this department, but it's no different than if you send it off, and of course the department never gets back to you. But now I can't even get in touch with a human as a partner. Are you really 5'6"? No, I'm 5'9.5", I guess. I'm 5'10" in shoes. Why do you think I'm 5'6"? Is that a reference to something I don't get? The amount of horror stories I've read from non-communication from YouTube is absolutely baffling. Yeah, it's actually gotten worse in the last year, because now a bunch of the sources that used to lead to a human eventually are just AI. Taller than MDB, we can meet up now. Yeah, I'm not that tall. I'm just average height for Canada. You look like a short king. No, I just average height for Canada, which is 5'9" for a male. Didn't YouTube say a bot back that unless you have a massive following, you can get problem trending or something, they can't do anything? Okay, so basically, if yeah, to fix anything on YouTube, you just have to cause enough attention on Twitter. That's pretty much the way to do it. It's really disappointing, but that's just how it works. Have you seen the MLK AI clips of him turning heel? Yeah, I saw a few of those. Newbie Nate's currently fighting off allegations that he offed Bischoff. I'll have you know, Bischoff died of natural causes. .4'9". That is crazy short. That is crazy short. 6'6". That's pretty tall. I had a friend in high school who was 6'5", and he was way taller than me because I didn't really have my growth spurt until right after high school. I'm just unlike my dad. I grew kind of late. So in high school, I was probably 5'5", 5'6". And then it wasn't until, like, I was 19 or 20 that I shot up to 5'9". So I was really short compared to him. He was a big dude in general, though. Like, he was really tall, but he was also, like, just big tree trunk legs and stuff, you know? Broad shoulders. Sounds like fixing problems by causing problems, to some degree. Randy Orton shot up to 6'5" when he was 25? Is that true? How old was he when he debuted on TV? Because he was pretty tall by then. I remember watching Rookie Orton doing his signature flying crossbody. Maybe not causing problems, perhaps causing a racket or a scene. Yeah, it's funny. The only way that you can get YouTube to do anything is by publicly embarrassing them on Twitter. It's nuts. And even then, they then embarrass themselves more because they'll have their AI responses, like the bot responses on their Twitter, that will misunderstand your problem repeatedly in public, and then everyone yells at them for it. Remember when Orton used the overdrive? Yeah, he was okay at it. The thing with the overdrive is it looks good or bad depending more so on the person taking the move. I like the overdrive. A lot of people shit on that move, but I like it a lot, actually. Some people did it really well. And by some people, I mean the biggest example people think of is Elix Skipper. Elix Skipper did it really well. Although that's because of watching NL, listening to Johnny lose his mind, yeah. Yeah, Johnny hates the overdrive. I love me some NL, though. I watch all their stuff. MVP used it until it messed up his knees. Did he ever say that that's why he stopped using it? Or did he just not like the move? Because, like, I always thought MVP's overdrive didn't look very good. And again, that's sure, it's partly on him, but it's largely on his opponents. That's one of those moves that's really on your opponent to make look good. But yeah, I never liked MVP's overdrive. I don't think it was very good looking. I was more into the player's boot. I thought that was a good move. Yeah, then AEW gave Johnny that move in Fight Forever. I think that was probably Johnny's decision, and that he just plays up to it, that he hates it. Because they, okay, pulling back the curtain a little bit, when Tony, Johnny, James, Macho T, and Chris Danker all got added to Fight Forever, they got to design their own character just through using like the in-game character designer thing, which is very limited, by the way. The creator wrestler mode in that game is not very good. Yeah, so he probably picked to have the overdrive because he knows that's the meme, you know? Would you be down if I Show Speed wanted to collab with you? Probably not. I don't think we have anything in common, other than, I guess, wrestling fans, but he doesn't do my kind of video. I don't think we'd get along. MDB is MVP. That's what makes you just you and me me. Okay, now I'm imagining is MDB walking out with basketball gear on. Oh, I'm starting to get a little bit of nerve pains. I'm leaning too hard on one side while I sit down. See, this is why I haven't been able to stream. I'm getting, like, nerve pains in my shin. I'm getting some in my back. Ugh. The worst is the... Okay, well, no, actually, the worst is when the top of the neck goes bad and then the right side of my face goes really tight and awful. That's the worst. But no, the more frequent thing I get that really sucks is if my right shoulder neck area starts getting really compressed and really bad, then I get, like, these shooting nerve pains in different parts of my chest and the sides of my ribs. And it's really rough. It stifles breathing. Sometimes you get tightness in the chest, which every time I went to the hospital, because I'm like passing out and shit, they immediately are worried about my heart, and it's so fucking frustrating because then they set me up with like cardiologist appointments, and I gotta wait months and months, and I gotta do stress testing and all this shit. And both times they did this, in the end, I saw the same cardiologist, and both times he's like, well, your heart's healthy. Because, of course, it was not my heart. It was nerve issues. But they send you through all these fucking tests, and each test takes you forever before it actually happens, and you go to appointment after appointment after appointment. In the end, they never figure anything out. The only reason anything got fixed, or, well, not fixed, anything got treated, is because both times I saw the cardiologist was like, well, the problem isn't your heart, but have you looked into this? And he gave me a really good suggestion on what to look into next, and both times he was right. I know I'm probably out of the loop. What happened to Brendan/Haley? Nothing. What do you mean, what happened to? Your heart's healthy. Yeah, I know. Exactly! Right? Like, I don't say that to the cardiologist, obviously. Like, the first time I saw him, and he said, like, no, your heart's really healthy, actually. I'm like, okay, good. I'm happy to hear that. Because, like, before I collapsed, I was doing high-intensity cardio, like, 5 times a week. So, of course, like, I thought, like, why would my heart not be healthy? And, of course, I end up seeing him, and yeah, my heart was healthy, because I was doing high-intensity cardio on a regular basis. Go to the gym and get buff, get your heart rate up, and lift weights, and get buff. I fucking lift 5 times a week, dude. Anyway, so my heart was healthy. Shocker. But he was like, have you looked into a nerve conduction test? Because these sound like nerve issues. And I'm like, no, I didn't. And he is like, you should talk to your doctor and see if they can book you a nerve conduction test. So I went and I talked to my doctor. And I told her what the cardiologist told me. And she said, like, I'm gonna warn you now, it might be a really long wait time, like a minimum of 6 months before you can get the nerve conduction test. I'll book you one, but like, do you want to see a physiotherapist in the meantime? And I said yes, and the physiotherapist was able to fix my problems like right away. Obviously, you can't get fixed overnight with these kind of degenerative neck things, because they did an MRI on me, and yeah, I had some degeneration between some of my vertebrae, like lower on in my neck. But I mean, within 10 minutes of the physiotherapist seeing me, I just let her know, like, hey, here's my medical record of what the MRI said, and just so you know, I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. And she was like, okay, like hyperflexibility and stuff, what kind do you have? And we talked about it a little bit. And she's like, okay, I'm familiar with that. And she literally just stood me up straight, and she looked at me, and she is like, your right shoulder sits higher than your left shoulder. And I'm like, does it? Because I have a tight right side of my neck. I always have. And she just looks at it and she's like, yep. And then she brings me over to this skeleton she had where it shows the whole nervous system. And she just pointed at these nerves that kind of go by your right clavicle. And she explained, like, okay, you get tingling in your left hand, right? And I'm like, yeah. And she was like, okay, right side of your neck, right in here where your shoulder is like pulled up and everything. If the nerves get compressed here, you're going to get nerve pains down your chest, down your sides, and you're going to get like tingling in your fingers, maybe a little numbness in your hand depending on how severe it is. And I'm like, that's exactly what I'm dealing with. Like that explains it so much, because they were worried like, okay, chest pains, chest tightness, shortness of breath, like maybe your heart's giving out. No, it wasn't my heart. It's that nerve pains are firing through my chest and my ribs, which is painful, but it's not going to kill you, you know? Like it's not the kind of medical emergency where you're going to die, but I have had problems where it happens and then my blood pressure drops and I faint. So like it can be dangerous, I guess. I have to lay down. But it's not like life-threatening. I don't think that can kill you. I feel like if that could kill you, they would have informed me of that. Anyway, so I did physiotherapy for a short time in 2022, but I just couldn't afford to keep doing it. I mean, I couldn't work for a couple months at that point. My channel never fully recovered from that time that I couldn't work. And then, you fast forward to like 2024, I collapse again. I went to the hospital again. They heard that I had chest pain again. They sent me to the cardiologist again. I had to do stress tests on the treadmill thing again. Okay, actually, the first time I did in 2022, it was an exercise bike that like tilts 45 degrees. It's weird. Whereas the second time, the 2024 time, it was a treadmill. I did that one, and it ended up being the exact same cardiologist, which was pretty cool. Dr. Mao, he walked in, and he was like, oh, long time no see. I can't believe he remembered me. Like, he must see a billion patients. So I saw him, and naturally, I do the test, and a couple months later, I go to the hospital to, like, meet up with him to go over the results, and the results are the same as last time, where he's like, well, your heart is still healthy. But that time, he was like, are you seeing an endo? And I'm like, yes, actually, I have an appointment with an endo booked because I think I'm having digestive issues. And he's like, good, because if you're having a problem with your intestines or your stomach, that can cause blood pressure drops, and that might explain the fainting spells. So, like, both times I talked to him, he was like, well, it's not your heart, but if you tried this. And both times what he said was right. I wish that cardiologist was just my family doctor, because that guy knows what he's talking about. So he told me, like, good luck with the endo. I saw the endo. They ended up scoping me, so I had a colonoscopy. They didn't find anything, but he gave me really good advice. They looked at my scans from when I was in the hospital the first time, and he was very cheeky about it. He said he looked at the papers and he gets this big wry smile and he says, I diagnose you with FOS. And I'm like, okay, what's FOS? Because he's smiling. He's got a joke lined up, and he said, full of shit. Literally, your intestines holds an abnormally large amount of poop. That's how he put it. And I was like, okay, what do we do about that? And he's like, what do you eat? And I showed him, like, I tracked all my food for, like, years. So I literally just could pull out my phone and be like, well, I eat this, and it's healthy stuff. And he's like, okay, like that's a decent diet. Do you ever take Metamucil? And I was like, yeah, sometimes. And he said, okay, take that every day. Most people don't need that every day. You need that every day. And I'm like, okay. Bro, so you on a diet? No, I've tracked all my food that I ate for like 6 years straight. I'm serious about nutrition. I'm serious about working out. It's not like I don't take care of myself. Bro, you are so fragile. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I don't have a choice in that. That's a genetic condition you're born with. Anyway, so he said, like, you'd need Metamucil every day. Like, you should take that and just see how it goes, because I said, like, I took it a little while, but, like, I would get worse gastro problems. He said, get really consistent with it. So I have, and it did help a lot. I haven't fainted in quite a while now, so I think what him and the cardiologist were saying was right, in that I have a weird digestive tract that can hold on to way more of everything than it's supposed to be able to, and that can cause blood pressure drops. However, that doesn't address my neck issue. The neck issue is still around, and I haven't been able to afford physiotherapy on that in years. So I just do my at-home physiotherapy routine, and although, like, that's good, it doesn't replace going to a physio and having them work on me. You always fainting, bro? I only fainted like 3 times. I've collapsed plenty. I only lost consciousness like 3 times. And even then, the collapsing is like, that's 6 times total? Because if I start feeling really rough, I can feel it coming and I go lay down ahead of time. How many times have you fainted this year? 0. Not the Densetsu Vegeta. Okay, Densetsu Vegeta is my wallpaper on my right monitor. Well, this reminds me of when I went to the Mayo Clinic for my Ehlers-Danlos and POTS, just finding the person that finally starts things getting things done medically. Yeah, it takes forever to find someone who can actually start helping you. How do you prevent a faint? When you start to feel the blood pressure drop, you go lay down. Because the thing is, it's a blood pressure drop. So if you're already laying down, then your body doesn't need to pump nearly as much blood. So you retain consciousness. And also, if you're laying down, if you were to still pass out, you're not going to drop and hit the floor, you know? Because you're already on the ground, so you're fairly safe. So really, my biggest problem right now is my neck, is the nerves in my body being really painful and sometimes keeping me from working. If I sit down for too long, then the back of my right shoulder and neck get really bad, and I get the tingling in my left hand, the pain in my left hand, the pain in my ribs, tightness in my chest, shortness of breath, stuff like that. I've got really bad rib flare on my left side too. Which is something you can very, very slowly fix. But that's, rib flare is something you just need to very slowly fix through a lot of core exercise, breathing exercises. There's certain, like, they're kind of like stretches and kind of not that you can do on the floor, kind of like yoga poses, that help slowly get your ribs back into place. But that's, like, a very slow, long-term thing. You can't really speed your way through that. And I am working on that. You know, like I do the McGill Big 3, which is like a pretty common physiotherapy routine for your core that probably most people should be doing. But because I work at a computer and I also have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, I am extra prone to having those kinds of core issues. So I do the McGill Big 3 a minimum of 2 times a week, because Tuesday, Thursday are core carries and core flexion. So Tuesdays, Thursdays is McGill Big 3, suitcase carries, and then like some Pilates moves that you do for your abdomen. Hey Slip, how's it going? I partly dislocated my shoulder a year ago, and I was thankful my wife was out of town, because when I popped it back out of place in my sleep, I made sounds I didn't know a human could make. Okay, no, I know what that's like. Now, obviously, you've dislocated your shoulder. I don't know if you've dislocated it in the same place I do, but my right shoulder, because I have Ehlers-Danlos, I have a connective tissue disorder. My right shoulder is prone to popping out of socket. Not unlike Randy Orton, for any wrestling fans in the audience. My right shoulder is prone to popping out of socket. So anytime in the past that I got really lazy with my shoulder workouts, it was more prone to coming out of socket. And I'm really good about it nowadays, and I haven't had my shoulder come out of socket in, I don't know, a good couple years. But when it would, no, shit, that sucks. And like, it doesn't feel like it's back in when it's back in. You'll have at least a week of it feeling really sore in the joint, you know? But like, I think I just have a high pain tolerance for this kind of shit, probably because of growing up with it. Like, I remember when I got my dental surgery done, okay, the dental surgeon who took out my wisdom teeth, the way he put it is, you're sick? Because I was in the appointment and I was excited for it. He walks in and like, the dental surgeon walks in to take out my teeth, because I needed a couple wisdom teeth out because they grew in weird. And they were causing problems. You know, they just started to slowly drift and cause problems, so we're just gonna take them out. So he he walks in, and he had already told me, like, he thinks he's gonna be on vacation when I get there, so I didn't think I was gonna get him. So he walks in, I'm like, oh, hey, I thought you weren't gonna be here. And he's like, nope, it turns out I'm working today. And he's like, you nervous? I'm like, no, I'm excited. I've been looking forward to this. And he's like, you're sick. and I was like, what? Why? And he's like, no one gets excited to get teeth pulled. And I'm like, it's not that big a deal. It's just, you know, you give me a needle that's scarier looking than it is feeling, and then I don't feel anything, and you pop them out. And that's exactly what happened. He takes his big needle that looks like it's from the 1800s. He pokes it into the roof of your mouth twice, and you barely feel it. It's like a little pinch. And then, like, he walks out of the room for 10, 15 minutes, walks back in, you don't really feel your face anymore. He puts some, like, pliers in your mouth, the teeth pop out. And then I was good. I didn't need any painkillers is the nuts part. I thought they were gonna, like, send me home with painkillers or something, because, like, I had a couple teeth out when I was young, to make room for braces, and I remember the recovery from that sucked. But no, this one was, like, easy. I got the teeth out, you know, they were like, okay, you're all good. I stand up, I was talking with some of the checkout people, I'm like, hey, I don't know if this is a weird request, can I get those teeth? And she's like, sure? And I was like, I have a friend who writes for, like, a dental magazine in America, and she wanted to see the teeth. And she was like, okay. And she got out a little bag and gave me the teeth. I guess that's a weird request. But she gave me the teeth, so I still have them. It's pretty cool. I got them in a drawer back here. And then they sent me home with no painkillers, and I was fine. Like, as soon as it wore off later that day, I was fine. The recovery was a little rough in that, I had an exposed piece of bone on the top right side that was causing some nerve issues in the front of my throat or neck or something. So I had to go back into a different dental surgeon maybe like a month later, and he just shaved it down a little. But then I had another funny thing with that guy where I go in and he's like, I can shave that down a little. Like, it looks like it's healing okay, but like this bone, like, is this where you feel it? I'm like, yeah. He's like, okay, and he just gets like literally like a metal stick kind of tool, and he just pushes at it a little bit, and he's like, is that sore? That looks like it's sore. And I'm like, a little bit. And he's like, well, I could put like a numbing tonic on it, or I could like give you some like a numbing shot. And I'm like, oh, is that like the stuff when they, like the needle, like when they took my teeth out? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, just give me, I said, do I have to pay for it? And he laughed, he's like, no. And I said, oh, just give me that. And he's like, he laughed, and he's like, that's crazy. And I was like, what? And he's like, nobody wants the needle. And I said the same thing I just said to you guys. I was like, well, it's not that bad. It's like, it looks scary, and then it's a little pinch, and then you don't feel it. And he's like, you're built different. Which was funny. I don't know. I think I just have a high tolerance for that kind of pain. Because, like, if I stub my toe, I'm useless. I don't think I'm, like, invincible or something. It's just, I don't know, maybe mouth pain just doesn't bother me that much. Broke your jaw from playing rugby, took you 4 months to recover. Well, breaking your jaw is a pretty serious injury. That's a lot worse than just getting a tooth pulled. Getting that tooth fairy money, dude, I wish. Do you think Dave the Tree will ever return? Hopefully not. MDB just built different? No, I think my mouth is built different. Dude, I didn't go to the dentist for 10 years because I didn't have money. And then when I finally started going back to the dentist again, like I got a new dentist, I went in there, I had no cavities. They were blown away. I've been with this dentist for, I guess, about 6 years now. And I just had my most recent cleaning with the hygienist just a few weeks ago, less than a month ago. And when I went in there and they got me all cleaned up, they took a look at my teeth and they said, the streak continues. And I said, what's the streak? And they said, no cavities, nothing wrong, teeth are looking great. Both of your top and bottom retainers have fallen out, yet your teeth haven't shifted. I have one tiny chip in one of my front teeth, but it's on the back so you can't see it, and it's so minor that, like, I barely feel anything there. I thought my teeth shifted and it exposed a sharp part, but when they looked at me 2 appointments ago, they're like, does this chip bother you? And I was like, it's chipped? I thought it was just sharp there. So I chipped my tooth. I think it's my own fault. I just, sometimes when I'm working out, I kind of like, I'll clench my teeth, which I shouldn't do, but I'll clench it like askew, not like flat down. And the way I clench it is kind of weird, and I can tell it puts pressure on that corner of that tooth. So I can only assume that that's when I chipped it, and I just didn't notice at the time. MDB got those good teeth? Yeah, I lucked out. When I was a kid, I had a really big overbite, but the braces went great. Go to a neck operation. Well, hopefully I can avoid that, because you never fully recover from a neck operation. I would like to rehab it. That's ideal. But rehab's got to be done really carefully because I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, you know? I have a degenerative joint problem. All of my joints bend much farther in the wrong direction than they're supposed to, like a contortionist, you know? I can bend my fingers back. Like, if you Google Ehlers-Danlos flexibility test, I match every single symptom. I can bend my knees back a little bit, just a little bit. I can bend my elbows out about 45 degrees the wrong way. I can bend my fingers back. I can bend my thumbs back. It's every joint. So my body is prone to overstretching, and I won't feel it in the moment. I'll feel it half an hour later when it's now clenching up and really painful for a week. And the problem is I can stretch my neck and regain a bunch of mobility, but if I overstretch, which is something I'm physically incapable of knowing that I'm doing in the moment, then I will be floored and useless because it will destroy my nerves. Like, if I stretch the right side of my neck too much, then about half an hour later, I will literally be floored. I can't feel the right side of my face, although I can still move it. It's not like Bell's palsy, it's not like a stroke. Although my smelling does go weird, which is scary. But I won't be able to, it'll be like a numbing tightness, and it's really brutal, and it's really painful. I'll get nerves firing down my back, down my chest, in my hand. It hurts like hell, and I'll be feeling it for at least a week. And because it gets worse when I'm sitting, because of course, when you're sitting and you're like using a computer or something, your arms are out in front of you, which puts the problem areas in extension. It makes it very hard to do my job. So it's so difficult. If you're the Jinder CK3 playthrough has been hindered, yeah, I gotta start a fresh one because there's been too many major patches and DLC since then. You should never go to boxing tryouts. It's okay, I'm not a fan of boxing anyway. I'm not a sports guy. Never been into sports. I like working out, but I've never been into sports. It's just not my thing. I don't have anything against sports. I think it's really cool. But I don't watch sports, and I'm not into sports. I respect them for what they are. I'm a wrestling fan. I have the good sense to not shit on people for what they like, just because it's not my thing. I also give things a chance, unlike people who don't watch wrestling, who have never given it a chance. Do you think Brock Lesnar should retire? Well, he's pretty old and beaten up now. Have you played Hitman 3 yet? I don't believe so. I think that's the most recent one they made, right? Because if so, I don't believe I played the most recent one. Can I say, by the way, I should never, ever, 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 ever ask anything from people on Twitter involved in anime again, because no one can read and no one can give you useful information. Holy shit. It's unbelievable. Like, I'm just gonna fucking... I asked you about it ages ago, but the WWE Haunted House at Universal last year was lit, even if I don't really know the plot other than spooky Bayou wrestler family. Oh, that's the Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt's actually dead now, which is a shame. But he was a great wrestler. I was a fan of him when he was Husky Harris. People don't know how good the Husky Harris character was. I think they just know the name and think it was dumb. I need to just start reading these fucking tweets I got today and ranting about them, I swear. Bro, you stalk these wrestlers? What do you mean? How do you adjust yourself when you gonna be sleep cause your neck injury? Sorry, I'm not sure what you mean. You have IG. Yeah, it's in the description of my stuff. It's just pictures of my cats, though. What did you tweet about Fallout? That's always fun. No, it wasn't Fallout this time. It was Dragon Ball. Dude, no one can read. No one can read. I need to just do like a fucking dramatic reading of these at this point. Okay. All right, everybody. This segment is going to be MDB complains about ridiculous responses to a very simple tweet in which no one is capable of reading, apparently. How's the snow in Canada? Well, it depends on where you are in Canada. This is the second largest country in the world. It's very hard for me to answer something about Canada itself. How do you make sure you don't hurt your neck while sleeping? Okay, well, there's no way to make sure you don't hurt your neck while sleeping. I have plenty of mornings where I wake up quite sore. However, there's some light exercises you can do in the morning and night, you know, before you go to sleep and as you get up, that sometimes are worth doing. And also, I have like an ergonomic pillow thing that kind of like cradles my head in to try and keep it in a pretty neutral position, so that helps. Are you gonna finish Mario Mon? Yes. Okay, I tweeted, my girlfriend has never seen Dragon Ball Z, and I haven't rewatched it in ages. She wants to see it. What would you guys say is the best way to watch it nowadays? What version? Where? Why? Also, I don't have a subscription service to any online streaming service, so I don't already have anything. Now that literally hits the character limit. That was the most context I could give in one tweet. I got an enormous amount of responses that were completely fucking useless. There was like 2 people who gave good responses. Of course, my boy AJ had me covered. He linked me to the color-corrected fan edit of literally every episode of Dragon Ball Z that you can just torrent. It's like a terabyte. He's the only one who had my back on this, because so many people had terrible answers. Okay, so let me just revisit what I asked people, right? I told people that my girlfriend has never seen Dragon Ball, and she wants to see it, right? And I'm asking, what's the best way to watch it? What version should I watch? Where should I watch it? And why? So check out some of these responses I got. Okay, so first of all, 3 separate people told me and tried to argue why we should watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged. What? It's a parody. It's a parody of Dragon Ball. Yes, it's good. I watched it 15 years ago like everybody else. I was a day one watcher of that. Everybody was. However, that's not a replacement for Dragon Ball. And one person tried to argue, saying like, yeah, but I know someone whose wife got into Dragon Ball because they were watching their husband watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged and they wanted to see it together. And I'm like, okay, read my tweet. My tweet says she wants to see it. She already wants to see it. I don't need to convince her. Another person said, where was it? You could play a game instead. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot's pretty welcoming to newcomers. I said, she asked to watch Dragon Ball Z, not to play a video game. She wants to get into it because she watched me play Kakarot anyway. Oh my god. Okay, this exchange. Someone says, why not watch Kai and pirate it? So I said, why Kai? Because I've heard of Kai. All I know about Kai is they like cut some filler or something. But like I don't know much about Kai, so I asked why Kai. And they said, isn't it a cut down version of DBZ to make it easier to consume the series without the filler? Which doesn't really answer my question, but it tells me a bit about what Kai is. So I said, why would we skip the filler? Because I want to know, like, okay, why skip the filler? He said, fair enough, I just hate filler because of my experience with stuff like watching Bleach and Naruto. That doesn't answer. I'm asking why to skip the filler. Like, I just want your opinion. So I had to clarify after that. I'm legit asking why to skip the filler and why Kai. Like, these are real questions. And I never got a response. People can't read, but only when it comes to, like, anime. Normally, when I get replies on my Twitter, they read the question. By the way, I ended up, like, minutes after making the first tweet, I had to make a follow-up because immediately people were saying, one person just said, you need to watch Dragon Ball first. And it's like, fucking, that's not what I'm asking. I said she wants to see Zed. Where should we see it and what version? So, and immediately a bunch of people just said, just watch Abridged. So I replied to my own tweet minutes later that many people have skipped this tweet and not read. Yes, I've seen all of original Dragon Ball and it's awesome, but we're starting with Zed just like everybody else did. And the other thing I said was, and I can't believe I have to say this, but Dragon Ball Z Abridged is a parody for Dragon Ball Z fans. It's not a good way to watch Dragon Ball Z for a new viewer. Holy shit. Holy shit. I saw some people saying, just ditch Twitter. Why? That doesn't fix anything. Are you telling me that this wouldn't have happened on Blue Sky? Of course it would have happened on Blue Sky. Nothing is any better on Blue Sky. The UI is better, that's it. People are annoying in the other direction on Blue Sky. These are fundamental problems with people's reading comprehension. It's not any different just because of the platform. Trust me. My timeline is significantly more annoying on Blue Sky. Because everybody there constantly wants to bitch about political things. At least on Twitter, I cannot follow the people who do that. On Blue Sky, I just use it to follow a bunch of artists, and they all bitch about politics anyway. Ugh. Ask someone who's not watched besides a few bits when I was little, aside from your specific case, would there be a reason to start with Zed instead of Dragon Ball? Just whatever you prefer is part of it, but also, like, I don't think that you need to watch all of Dragon Ball to watch Dragon Ball Z, and I know that for a fact, because Zed was translated to English first. Everybody started with Zed, and then Dragon Ball was translated later because Dragon Ball Z took off in the Americas so much. Before that, it was just in Japanese. And I grew up with original Dragon Ball as well. I love that show. It's awesome. It's not necessary to enjoy Zed, though. And, like, I want to show her Dragon Ball Z. She's asking to watch Dragon Ball Z. I'm not gonna watch 165 episodes or something of Dragon Ball just to get to episode 1 of Z. We can watch that after. My roommate had never watched Dragon Ball Z, but started watching Dragon Ball Z Abridged and liked it. He still isn't going to watch the original, but he plays the game knowing the original story. Yeah. But the difference is, I'm being asked to watch Dragon Ball Z, not Dragon Ball Z Abridged, which is a parody. It is not a market replacement. If you told me I want to listen to Gangster's Paradise, and I put on Amish Paradise, that is not giving them what they asked for. Never watched Dragon Ball. I started with Zed in the 90s on Toonami. Okay. I started with Dragon Ball Z before it was translated to English through VHS tapes my uncle from Hong Kong would send to me. Yeah, and my understanding of Kai is that they cut out a bunch of the filler. I like the filler. I don't want to cut any of that out. Go to Brazil. I can't travel. I gotta stay home and work. I like Brazil, and Brazil's very fun to play in video games. I like strategy games a lot. Brazil's always a fun country. I like Brazil in general. I think Brazil's a really cool country. But, no, I can't travel. I gotta work. Legit, I work almost every day. I have to. It's my job. It's my job. I got a family to support. I got a lot of people who rely on me. I don't just pay my rent. I pay my mom's rent for her. And I gotta make sure that the money's coming in, so I gotta work. Yeah, no, I like the filler. I'm sure there's more filler than there needs to be to some degree, because a lot of the filler was made out of necessity. A lot of the filler was literally just they were trying to fill time while the manga was still being written. Civ 6 did Brazil dirty coming from Civ 5, though? I don't know. I think Civ 6 Brazil is really fun, based around amenities. Amenities is one of the strongest mechanics in Civ 6. And then you look at like Victoria 2 and Victoria 3, both of those games, Brazil is very fun. I don't know, like, what strategy game has Brazil and Brazil isn't fun? I can't think of one. Don't use the J word, it's scary. I feel like that's a joke, but I don't even know what the word is. Yeah, it's not even just the manga, they also wanted to fill time to get the rest of the translation done. Yeah, that's true. What's Brazil like in Hearts of Iron 4? I actually don't know. I haven't played... Oh, Job. I haven't played Hearts of Iron 4 in quite a while. I guess there was... earlier this year, I played a decent little bit of it, but like I haven't really seriously played a lot of Hearts of Iron 4 since before 2022, like when I had my collapse. Because once Victoria 3 came out, it pretty much scratched the same itch for me, but like way better. Because like... Hearts of Iron 4 is a pure war game, and is great at it. It's a very good game. I'm less of a pure war guy. I like having the economic simulator in there. I like having the pop simulator, the standard of living, the trade. I'm more of an economy guy. So I'm really big into Victoria 2 and Victoria 3. You know, same reason why I liked Victoria 2 more than I liked Europa Universalis 4. It's not that Europa Universalis 4 is a bad game, I love it. But it's more of a pure war game. Everything feeds back into the war system. Whereas EU5 is out now, and it actually has like a robust economic system, so I'm really enjoying that. Do you think you'll do a video reviewing every Gen 2 Pokemon? See, you don't even need to ask that, because in the previous one I said I will, and that means I will. So yes, I don't think I will. I know I will. And you know I will, because I said so. Same with Pokemon Stadium 2. You already know the answer, there's no need to ask, but people will ask anyway. They think because it's been a while, the answer isn't the same. No, no, no. The answer is the same. If the answer were not the same, you would already know. And then they say when. This is why I also have that rule on the channel where I always say, people say, when is this? Or how soon is this? And I have that stock line I always say, I can't answer when, I can't answer soon, I can only answer if is yes. Because if I had the answer on when, it would already be up. Need a remake of the Nancy Drew vids? Why remake them? They're perfect. I'm so proud of that Nancy Drew Let's Play. I would never remake that. I would just do more Nancy Drew games, and we will. It's on my list. I already have like jokes lined up and everything. I'm excited. The next game is in Germany, and I have so many inappropriate jokes lined up that I cannot wait to lay on the co-hosts. They're not mentally prepared for the ones that I have. It's great. I wonder if YouTube ever fixed... You know, maybe they have, because it's been almost 2 hours of streaming and it hasn't happened yet. YouTube had a memory leak issue for years on the streaming page. And I haven't had it, I haven't had the page crash yet, where it says, like, out of memory and you gotta refresh it. So maybe it's working. Maybe they finally fixed that, because I see the layout's a little different. So they've changed something on this page. Nancy Drew and Bob Holly's late 90s finisher. I want Bob Holly to voice Nancy Drew in the video games. You have no idea how much I want that. But will Nancy Drew decide to go to bed while you're reading a book entry in the next game. We can only hope. You remember that time we got soft locked because Nancy Drew tried to read or tried to go to sleep while we were in the middle of like opening a drawer and taking a key out, and then it got locked forever and we had to go back a save? That was fucking nuts. I wonder if anyone's ever discovered that before. That might be the first time in recorded history that someone found that soft lock. If anyone here hasn't watched my Let's Play of Nancy Drew's Shadow at Water's Edge, where me and my friends got together and we played it, you need to. You have no idea what you're missing out on. It doesn't matter if you don't know what Nancy Drew is. Most of us didn't know going in. It was so fun. Do you have a plan for the poll? Oh, I forgot I'm supposed to do a poll to promote my stream, but like, does it even mean anything? I still have that glitch where it just never shows my stream to anybody. So what does it matter? They never fixed it. On my channel, every time I go to start a stream, it defaults to not having mid-roll ads. And what YouTube doesn't tell you is if you don't have mid-roll ads on your stream, it doesn't show you to anyone who's not already following you. So you can't grow. And it just doesn't get fixed. Every single time I do a stream and then I end the stream and then I go back in, it will turn it off again, and just turning it on doesn't fix that. It has to be like the next time. So it's just never been fixed. I mean, I saw your stream from my homepage. Yeah, but you're subscribed, right? That's the thing. If you want to grow, you have to be shown to people who don't already follow you. That's what Twitch does, and that's what YouTube does when it doesn't have the glitch. The glitch is on my channel, not on other people's. I'm sure other people are dealing with it, yeah, but I haven't heard of anyone else with this specific one. It's obnoxious because the one time it didn't happen, I got promoted like crazy just on a random Vicky 3 stream. Had over 600 viewers. And I even said in this stream, I said, oh, the glitch must be over. Like, I got 600 people, I didn't get raided. That must mean that a bunch of you just found me now, right? And then, yeah, a bunch of people in the chat said, yep, just found you on my homepage. I'm new to you. Although there was that one glitch where you got hundreds of viewers. Well, that wasn't a glitch. That was when the glitch isn't happening. That's what's supposed to happen, is that you get shown to new people. The funny thing is, on YouTube, it's very easy to see when that happens because they give you such detailed analytics afterwards that you can see how many people not only clicked your stream who weren't subscribed, you can see how many people had it show up on their page whether they clicked it or not. So you can make an educated... You can make an educated or have an educated understanding of whether or not YouTube even attempted to show you to anyone. And the answer is no on 100% of my YouTube streams other than that one. That it simply shows it to nobody who's not already following. So it's just fucking busted. I mean, I just checked again on a private browser, saw you on my For You page. Well, you can only have a For You page if you've been watching me, right? That's the thing. If you're already watching me, then yes, it's going to show me to you. But it's not going to show me to anyone who doesn't already know me. And that's not how it normally works. Normally, it'll show people streams of people who it believes are in their interest category, the exact same as it does with videos. Let's say, you know, I play a lot of Pokemon. If you watch a lot of Pokemon, but you haven't watched me, and you start watching videos that are a little similar to mine, YouTube will start putting me in your suggested videos to experiment and see if you're willing to click it. And if you're not willing to click me a few times, then it'll try other people. It's not even attempting that with me, specifically with the streams, and specifically because it auto-turns off the mid-roll ads. And infamously on YouTube, if you don't have mid-roll ads turned on for streams, then it will not promote you at all to anyone who's not already, like, following you or watching you regularly. At least you weren't banned or got a strike for no reason. That's been happening a lot to people. It has been happening a lot to people. YouTube wants to deny it in every which way. Yep, which is what they've done for years. People act like this is a new thing because now they have AI doing it. They had bots doing it before. This is no different. It's just even more abrupt. Got jump scared by the mid-roll ads? Sorry. I hate the mid-rolls. I barely get paid for them, by the way. The only reason I have them is because I want the stream to grow because it's my livelihood. I don't like the mid-rolls at fucking all, which is one of the big reasons why I vastly prefer I vastly prefer streaming on Twitch, because over on Twitch, I can have the mid-rolls off and still get shown to new people. Not as often, but at least it doesn't completely black me out, you know? Ooh, it's so hot in here. I gotta crack the window. There we go. That'll be better soon. Not that there's really any airflow in here, and I got the door closed to the studio. It's a very small room with a lot of lights and a heat vent and a big computer that pumps out heat. So it gets hot pretty fast in here. And there's only one window, so you don't really get good airflow, you know? You can open the window and a little bit of air can come in, but it's got to make room for the air to get to go out as well. So you just don't get good airflow. Oh, my voice is already getting hoarse. And we really got to thank you because you got me back into Pokemon and challenges. Oh, that's awesome. I hope you're having fun with it. Twitch is so much better than YouTube for streams. Twitch has its problems, but YouTube is worse, in my opinion. I feel like it's really 50-50 nowadays, right? I think that the layout for streams is better on Twitch, and some of the features are better. The moderation is probably worse on Twitch, because they're very hands-on in a bad way. You get less views on Twitch, for the most part. That's, like, for sure, because Twitch is a way smaller website than YouTube. Like, it's not even remotely close. I generally think that Twitch is a better streaming environment, but YouTube does have its good stuff. Like, on YouTube, you have live replay. You can pause and you can go back whenever you want. Which obviously means it's kind of hard to participate in the chat if you do that, but for people who are just lurking and just want to experience the whole thing and want to be able to pause and stuff, that's super useful. Do you think Brie Bella should come back? I have no opinion on that. I have no idea. If she wants to, I don't know. She's okay. I don't know why Google thinks I know languages I show no signs of knowing. They basically go, ah yes, Midwesterner clearly knows this Middle Eastern language. That's insane. At least on my YouTube, I only ever get shown stuff in English. How far can you rotate your neck? All the way around, like in The Exorcist. I just spin it around and then start barfing. I don't know why, but I am a minesweeper for Twitch's auto mod. What do you mean? Ooh, I'm starting to get some of the tightness and some of the nerve pains. I probably got to wrap it up soon. I mean, I figured I could probably go for 2 hours, and I'm only a few minutes away from 2 hours, so that's not so bad. If you're complaining about YouTube, I recently downloaded several videos to watch on vacation, but they're in Italian, and others I couldn't recognize. That's nuts. Yeah, I don't have any of these language issues that a lot of other people are getting. I think I've just lucked out. MDB got that owl neck. Yeah. No, I can turn my head left and right fine. I can look up and down fine. It's tilting left and right that's the problem. I can tilt left to a completely normal amount. I can't tilt my head... Or sorry, no, I'm describing this wrong. I can tilt to the right fine, which extends the left part of my neck. I can't tilt to the left properly, which extends the right part of my neck, because the right side of my neck is where the vast majority of the issues are. I have some issues on the left side in my shoulder, because if you have like neck tightness and shoulder problems with overextension on the right, which I do, then you're going to have a tightening on the left that kind of matches it. So I do have that. But really the right side is where all the core issues come from, is my right side of my neck, and then the right kind of back of the trap area, like very top shoulder blade on the right, kind of in the trap area. It gets really bad, really extended, really sore, and that's because of my neck issues. go and do core training. I do core training twice a week. You already heard me talk about it. McGill Big 3, which is the whole fucking physiotherapy routine, plus Pilates, plus yoga, plus suitcase carries, plus farmer's carries, all that shit. I also do okay, there's like a bunch of names for it. Angels, you know, the thing where you put your back flat up against a wall while you're standing. You put your arms out to your sides with your elbows bent at a 90 degree. You put them flat on the wall so that your elbows, your forearms, your wrists, that's all making contact with the wall. And while keeping contact, you press up overhead and you bring it back down. You do reps of that. And that just kind of wakes up all those muscles in the back of your neck, in your upper back and your traps and everything to help like engage those postural muscles that sometimes just aren't engaged like they need to be. Do you have a six-pack yet? I mean, probably not, because I'm not doing stuff for like aesthetics. I'm doing physiotherapy for like core strength, you know? It'd be sweet to have a six-pack one day, but that's not really my top priority. And also, I'm a little too heavy for that right now. I dropped 10 pounds again recently, which is quite nice, because I've been getting strict with my eating again, because I was a little lazy with it for a little while. But no, my body fat percentage is, what, like 20% right now? So even if I had a six-pack right now, you wouldn't see it. I'm like 184 pounds right now. So I'm more comfortable at like 160. So really, I'm like 20 pounds above where I want to be right now. Because I got kind of narrow frame, you know? So I can't carry fat very well. It very quickly becomes uncomfortable, and it is uncomfortable for me. I'm clearly overweight right now at 184. Not a huge dude. I'm only 6'9". I got kind of a narrow frame, so I need to drop down. Gain 20 pounds and lift 200 kilograms twice a week. No. That would be so hard on my joints. I have a degenerative joint problem. Bro, it's the holidays. Calories don't count this week and next week? That's not true. Oh, did I say 6'9"? Sorry, 5'9", not 6'9". Jesus, no, 6'9" is a giant. Hey, Sparkles, how's it going? Yeah, sorry, no, I meant 5'9", not 6'9". I'm not like Bob. Bob's a tall motherfucker. Even he's not 6'9". 6'9" is giant territory. Nah, I just misspoke, sorry. 5'9". I am 5'10" in shoes, because I'm like 5'9" and a half. MTV comes from a long line of giants. Actually, I'm like the tallest guy in my family. All the men in my family are really short. I guess except for my dad. My dad was like 6'1" or 6'2" when he was younger. So I got a little bit of his height. Bro is 6'9", damn. Actually, I'm 69 feet tall. I'm the tallest man who's ever lived. I think the actual tallest man in recorded history was like 8'9" or something. Like, really unbelievably tall. And like, we have footage of that guy. He was alive in Victorian times. We already had cameras and video cameras and everything. So we have film of that guy. We know for sure how tall he was. Bro's taller than Great Khali. How tall is Great Khali legitimately? Is he like 7'4"? Because he's real tall. Bob was 8'11". Jesus. Yeah, how tall is Great Khali actually? Because in wrestling, you know, they always lie about heights. They lie about weights. But Khali legitimately is very, very tall. Giant Gonzalez was tall. He was. Didn't he used to be like a Brazilian basketball player? Because, man, a lot of basketball players are very tall. Long legs on them, long limbs. Having long limbs is just a big advantage in basketball. You're 6'3" and you're the 4th tallest in your family. Hey, some families are just real tall. Khali's 7'6". See, I feel like he couldn't possibly be that tall. Okay, well, he's older now, so I'm sure he's shorter than he used to be. Because you do get a bit shorter as you age. But, like, I wonder what he was at his peak. Rebel Dance 6'5" yourself? Okay, I've stood next to a guy who's 6'5" before, so like I know like how tall that feels being near someone that tall. That's quite a bit taller than me. You're 5'6" and the third tallest in your family on your dad's side. Okay, so you're from a fairly short family. Yeah, I'd say the men in my family are about 5'6" on average. The men in my family are typically pretty short. I'm abnormally tall for my family. And I'm just completely average height for Canada, for a man in Canada. We are not at all a tall family. The funny thing is, whenever we go to like family reunions and stuff, I look like a clone of my Uncle Steven. Like, I have like a beard and my hair is different and stuff, but like in the face, we look the exact same. And that's my mother's brother. So like it makes sense. I look like my mom, so of course I'm gonna look like my mother's brother. To the point that like whenever I'd go to a family reunion, despite having like a 22-year age gap or something, people would walk up to me and call me Steven, and I'd have to tell them, no, I'm actually, I'm not Steven. We love Uncle Steve? Yeah, no, Uncle Steven's great. He wrote a bunch of comic books that you guys either like or inspired the comic books that you guys like. He also worked on a lot of animation for a lot of cartoons from back in the day, you know, Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, Rupert Bear, Babar. He animated for a lot of those things. Him and his wife's visual effects company did the visual effects for movies like Shaolin Soccer and Kung Fu Hustle. The Big Red Machine Steve. I know what you're talking about. Is he still going good? What, my Uncle Steve? Yeah, no, he's doing great. He still lives in Hong Kong. He's still doing well. And I get that all the time. I get called my mom when people see me from behind, and I'm AMAB. I don't know what AMAB is, sorry. But yeah, people would walk up to me and say like, oh, hey, Steve, long time no see. And it's like, fucking, okay, I'm like a half a foot taller than Steve. I had long hair almost down to my hips at the time. He'd never had long hair in his life. I had a beard. I think he was clean shaven his whole life. Like, how do you look at me and think, Steve, but like, that's the thing. We look so alike in the face that no matter how different I dress from him and how different my hair and beard is, they would just think I'm my Uncle Steven. Because we really do look identical. Signed Melbourne. Oh, okay, I get you. Well, I hope you at least find it flattering then that you get confused for your mom. Yapper of the year? I was gonna say I try, but I don't. This is natural. MDB is Steven's evil doppelganger. Yeah, kinda. I don't think either one of us are the evil one, though. Also, he's just like me. He never shuts up. Wear a shirt saying my name's not Steve. That might solve some things. You get called Mama on the phone with strangers all the time? I actually don't think that's ever happened to me. I got that, like, Rich Evans voice, where it's clearly a male voice, but when I get really excitable and highly animated, the pitch goes pretty high. I have a very large vocal range. It can go from moderately low to very high-pitched back and forth within the same sentence. Just depending on usually how animated I'm being. Big Steve MDB. Oh my god. Have you heard of a YouTuber called Kickin' It with Ross? No, I haven't, sorry. Sorry, I had to like lean in there and see what that said. I have a hard time with usernames when it's multiple words, but they don't capitalize the first letter of each word. I don't know why. Just all the words blend together, and I'm trying to figure out where one word starts and the other ends, you know? I think calling you Steve in chat occasionally will be really funny. Probably not. Have you heard about the High Elves? Oh my god. The last thing the guard says to you before he kills his other fellow guard after a hunting accident. Actually, that's the first thing they say to you after they just killed their fellow guard. Have you heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? It sounds like a Star Wars reference that I don't know. What do you think of the Goldberg-Bret Hart rivalry? It's very Bret Hart. I don't really blame him. I get it. Do I think that he shouldn't be bitter about it for the rest of time? Yeah, probably for his own health he shouldn't. But, like, I get it. Also, a lot of people had a bad experience with Goldberg. Not just him kicking you in the head, him being a fucking douchebag that's hard to work with. He's apparently really good with fans, especially kids. Do you watch BDE? What the fuck is BDE? Sorry, is that like a TV show? Goldberg was a jerk. That's the thing, is wrestlers hated working with him, and then like fans usually say he's really nice to meet. JBL was a bully? That's one of those weird ones where like, a lot of people who have worked around JBL will say like, oh, he was a bully. But it was also during a time when there was a lot of bullying in general. There's also just as many people who say JBL was like a really fun guy to be around. He was nice, he was giving, that he'd give you a hard time, but he would help you. So it's hard, you know? I'm sure he could be a bully sometimes. A lot of them could. John Cena could really be a fucking bully. But, you know, I don't think you could just say he's a bully and leave it there. I don't think that really fully encapsulates JBL. Just like you can't say that about Bob Holly. You know, people can talk about Bob Holly and they just talk about him on Tough Enough, but they never talk about how Bob Holly really did try to help a lot of people. And yeah, JBL was stiff. He's from an era of stiff wrestlers, and he is from a stiff category of wrestler. A lot of guys were. Goldberg met Regal in the ring and it didn't go well for Bill. Okay, well, in Regal's defense, Regal was told to make it a competitive back-and-forth match, and Bill didn't seem to get that, and Bill wasn't trained for that. You know, they didn't do the best training in the power plants. They trained Bill to squash people, not to have competitive matches. He didn't know how to have competitive matches. And then later, you look at a lot of those guys in the last crop of WCW, and a lot of them were very athletic and very cool. I like a lot of them. You know, Sean O'Hare kicked ass. But at the same time, they were only trained to have like 3 to 5 minute high-intensity TV matches. So like, once they came over to WWE, they weren't really trained properly. JBL's in my Bluetooth speaker? Yeah. JBL is the single funniest thing ever aired on SmackDown with the border skit. I know the exact one you're talking about. No, JBL was the funniest evil caricature. He basically was like, what does everybody think that I am? What's the worst stereotype of what they think I am? Let's be the most ridiculously, cartoonishly evil, over-the-top version of that. And you know what? That was a fun fucking character. And of course, JBL is a Bluetooth speaker. That's like an audio brand, isn't it? Something like that? Stone Cold versus JBL would be a banger. I think they tag teamed in like 2002. I don't know, 2002 booking of Stone Cold was really weird. It's funny because like you look at like the early 2000s and Stone Cold barely wrestled at all on TV, just like once in a blue moon. But then you look at like 2001 and very early 2002, he actually had like some really great TV matches. He had like a one-on-one with Booker T. I know everyone thinks of like the brawl they had in the Green Mart, whatever, you know, the grocery store, and that was obviously hilarious. But he had like just a match on Raw once, Booker T versus Stone Cold, and it kicked ass. Which, like, isn't really all that surprising. I mean, Booker T kicks ass and Stone Cold kicks ass. And this was a much younger Booker T, too, when he didn't have many injuries yet. Basically the end of Stone Cold's in-ring career, though. Yeah, he barely wrestled after that. Everything after X7 for Stone Cold was weird. Yeah, but there was a lot of really fun stuff in that era. Super duper Mart. No. Can you do a voice impression of Stone Cold Steve Austin? Nah, I don't think I'm really an impressionist guy. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I can do a very good Stone Cold. Probably can't really do a good anything. Stone Cold versus Austin Theory. Why, though? I like Austin Theory. He's a good wrestler. I didn't say bad, but weird. I can agree with that. There was a lot of weird Stone Cold after X7. Now, if we're talking, like, just heel Stone Cold in that era in general, heel Stone Cold was hilarious. It was probably bad for business, but, like, I love most of heel Stone Cold. He was really funny. He was so funny. But then if we're talking about, like, just general, like, Stone Cold in his last year before he quit, yeah, there was just weird booking with him. I understand why he left. They didn't really treat him that well. God, how is it past 4 o'clock already? That doesn't make any sense to me. How does time work? It's already getting dark. Ugh. Him with the fucking guitar singing to Vince was so funny. I know! I love that whole heel run. Where, like, he starts buddying up to Vince, and Vince is like... Vince was trying to woo him over for ages, and then now that he's got Stone Cold on his side, he's simultaneously afraid of him and hates him. Because he's an annoying suck-up, but he's also dangerous. Oh, it was so good. Ben MDB can do a good impression of the comment section. Depends what comment section, I guess. Oh, sorry, I didn't sleep all that well. Can you still do the goblin voice? Oh, you mean the Grammy voice. Oh, I'm sure I can still do the Grammy voice. I'm not gonna do it right now because my voice is already getting hoarse. But, I could probably still pull out the Grammy voice. If anything, I can probably do it better now, because I am more nasally than I used to be. You need some tea and honey? I do tea and honey on a regular basis. Sometimes it can soothe it, but it doesn't fix it. Oh my god. Can my nose work, please? Sorry, my nose goes in and out of working. Okay. I'm starting to get, like, quite a bit of chest tightness and stuff. It's just the, it's the nerve pains. Oh. I'm trying to stretch out a little. Hey, when people ask me to do an accent or a voice on the spot, but when I do it unexpectedly, it's the funniest. Yes, that's exactly how I feel. If you're just ask me to do, like, retell a joke or something on the spot, I probably can't. If you just let me do my thing, then it'll be good. Don't faint, bro. No, I'm not getting anywhere close to that. That's a blood pressure thing from, like, digestive stuff. This is unrelated. This is my neck nerve stuff. But yeah, I do think I need to wrap this up now, because the pain is getting kind of rough, and it makes me short of breath and everything, because you get a lot of tightness in the front of the sternum. So I think I'm going to have to wrap this up. I'll leave this up, though. I'll leave the stream recording just, like, on the live page of this channel. I'm not gonna, like, upload it on the side channel, on the streaming channel, because it doesn't really need to be there, to be honest. Oh, I gotta update the description of these streams so that it has the streaming thing, the streaming channel. If you just YouTube search Mah-Dry-Bread streams, you'll find it, I'm sure. But you know, everyone go sub to that. Let me get a link for you. Here you go. Not many people are subscribed to it yet. Most people don't know the channel exists yet. It's fine. It's what it is. But that is the link to the channel if anyone wants to go see it. It's just for me dumping VODs of streams. I'm probably not going to upload anything there that is already on the main channel. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe I'll transfer some stuff. We'll see. We'll see. I hope you enjoy that stuff, though, and I hope you enjoyed the stream. I went a little bit longer than I thought I was going to be able to, but starting like half an hour ago, I started feeling rough, and it's getting rougher and rougher, so... So I'm gonna try and lay down a little bit and then stretch out a little bit, see how I'm doing. A walking break usually does me some good for just getting my posture right. That kind of eases up some of the tension on the nerves. But sometimes I gotta take like an acetaminophen or a Aleve or something like that, some kind of anti-inflammatory to get the inflammation in my shoulder to die down, because the inflammation presses on the nerves. And that can cause a lot of pain. It is... Oh, it's 11:30 in South Africa. Oh, are you South African? That's cool. Where in South Africa are you? I know a decent little bit about South Africa. And you know what? That's another country that's fun to play in video games. In Victoria 3 and in Hearts of Iron 4. Both of those games, and in Victoria 2. In all three of those games, South Africa is quite fun. Port Elizabeth? That's bottom leftish, right? Am I right on that? I know bottom left, like most bottom left is like Cape Town. Whereas like northeast is like Pretoria and stuff. Pretoria? I think it's got an R. I know northeast is a little more Dutch. Southwest, a little more English, and obviously many African cultures all throughout. Duh. Civ LP when? Like, you want me to just play another Civ game? Maybe I gotta, like, stream Civ 7. Show you guys what I think of it. Because I actually quite like Civ 7, although I agree with most of the complaints about it. It's weird, you know? The south of South Africa. Okay, so you're, like, right along that south coast. I mean, port's in the name, so obviously you're coastal. Port Elizabeth is in the south of South Africa. Okay. South cubed. Hold on, let me Google Port Elizabeth. I want to see this on a map. Port Elizabeth. And map. Oh, there it is. Okay. Yeah, it's kind of like center south. Okay, cool. Cool. You have a place called Hanky nearby? Great name. Jeffreys Bay, St. Francis Bay, Port Alfred, Hamburg, Kids Beach, East London. Man, you can really tell who settled what areas just by the name. My tribe boys are sent into the bush and come back as men. That's a hell of a coming of age ritual. We have different tribes. Yeah, I imagine you've probably got quite a few different cultures native to the area. Pretoria is the nation Peter founded in an episode of Family Guy. Yeah. I'd play Victoria 3 if I could actually load it on my laptop. Oh, that's a shame. Yeah, sorry, I had to go visit Africa real quick just to get some of these names. Okay, no, I'm rambling too much. I always do this. Is I'm like, I should wrap up the stream, and then I just ramble, and I ramble, and I ramble, because I'm having fun talking to you guys. I'm gonna wrap this up now, for very understandable health reasons. Thanks everybody so much for hanging out with me. This was a fun time. I'm going to be trying to stream more, just, you know, health permitting. Keep up with me on Twitter and everything. I'm gonna let you know what's going on. And in the outro of the Pokemon challenges, I try to let you know what's going on over there as well. Gonna try and stream more soon. I can do some Civ. I saw some people requesting that, and yeah, I wouldn't mind doing play through a Civ 7. I usually play on marathon speed, so I hope you guys are okay with that. But just, I don't know, Warfare is more fun in Civ games when you play on the slowest speed. I play like every Civ game on the longest speed nowadays. It's just better balanced that way, you know? You spend more time in each age so you can really use those units and really like get shit done. Play Wrestling Empire? I do need to play more Wrestling Empire. That's like legit one of the funnest wrestling games ever made. Without a doubt. Yes, more Mario Mon. Civ 7 is still fun. Oh, the 6-7 Civ 7, yeah. That is kind of funny, now that you brought it up. Okay, I gotta get up. No, I'm getting nerve pains in the left side, like right under the pit. And dude, it feels awful, and I'm getting like shooting shit in my hand. What time is it here? It's 4:30 p.m. I'm on like East Coasty area of North America. That's the time zone, at least, is EST. Alright, go do a backflip. Well, if you never hear from me again, it's because I broke my neck doing a backflip. Thank you everybody so much for watching, and until next time, have a nice day.